this month India has witnessed a lot of proud moments, whether it's G20 summit, in which India has invited all the leaders of the world from around the world, and whether it's the Oscars, where India got back-to-back Oscars, whether it's the song Natu Natu and Elephant Whisperers, which got the recognition at Oscars, was really a proud moment for India. Well, it is not for the first time that the Indians received Oscar. There were many such names who were awarded with Oscar, for example, Satyajit Ray and A.R. Rahman, for example. The unique part about this Oscar was that something that was created under the Indian banner, Indian production, got the recognition at Oscar and received the Oscar award. Speaking about the song Natu Natu, Natu Natu earlier got many international awards, and this song became popular all around the world. Not only that, Deepika Padukone was also seen at Oscars. It is not for the first time that Deepika was only seen at Oscars. She was also seen at the events like the FIFA World Cup. She was also seen at Davos. Take Priyanka Chopra, for example. Priyanka Chopra was a Bollywood actress, and now she became a Hollywood actress, and she became a global icon. And we know that what she did, and she made all of us very proud. And if I start, actually the list is very long as far as the achievements and how far the people have achieved and won the hearts of the people. This shows India's soft power. This shows India's representation on the global stage. So in this episode, we will try to find answers of few questions. So we will talk about what is soft power diplomacy. Second, we will compare soft power with the hard power. Number 3, how does it help a country? How does soft power help the country to brand herself? Then we will also talk about the role of cinema in creating the perception and in the soft power journey. Also, we also need to talk about that what introspection that we need to do as far as to improve ourselves. And we will talk about the values that we have, that is preserving and preventing the Gandhian ideology. How can we use soft power in the diplomacy, and why soft power is hard to earn and why we should pursue it. The term soft power was coined by Joseph Nye in the late 1980s, and this term is used by academicians, diplomats, politicians. It is a theory to spread the ideology of a country through the means of media, that is through social media, cinema, film, series, or literature. Usually, there are 2 ways through which a country can exert or influence. One is hard power and the another one is soft power. So hard power means that where one countries try to build an influence over the other countries through the use of force. It might be doing an invasion or threatening of invasion, or it could be something like showing their military strength so that the other party listens to them and follows what the person is trying to say. This kind of power is like that when you bully other countries to listen to them. In this kind of scenario, ruthlessness is required, although in my opinion it is easy to silence anybody by the use of force or power. But the thing is that at the end of the day, this will not help you to earn any respect. While the soft power is something which is voluntarily accepted. First of all, in the soft power, there is no use of force. It is done through a systematic way of pushing down a belief. Now, it is on the person's intellect to receive it or not to receive it. But here, the use of force is not done. The soft power is usually marketed through films, movies, TV series, stuff like that. If we see, for example, how American ideology was propagated, it was done through movies, through cinemas, through the fashion brands. So, for example, the fashions that we follow today is an example of American ideology. And which is famous, which has become famous worldwide. Another example, that is the Korean industry, the Korean pop song, Korean dramas, Korean beauty standards, and the Korean makeups. This is also getting popular, and it is also presenting a Korean culture before everybody, and we are all happily happily accepting it or adapting it. How can we in the Korean film industry, how can we forget about the Squid Games? Squid Games was one of the famous Korean dramas that happened and in net, and it was very successful. There was a time when the Dalgona Coffee Challenge was quite famous, when Squid Games was streaming it on Netflix. Again, those kids who were born after 90s and 2000s will remember anime was first introduced in India, and the series like Pokemon, Digimon Adventures, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, so all, and even today people people are largely fan of anime. And anime is a Japanese animation which is famous in India. So these all examples that I am telling is also a part of the soft power. Speaking about India, India is also always known for her soft power. Whether it's the spread of Buddhism during the era of the Buddhist time, or whether it's Gitanjali, which was famous, which got recognition from people from all around the world after it received the Nobel Prize, and Swami Vivekananda, who went to Chicago and presented Indian spirituality before the wider Western audience at the time when India was colonized. India is a nation which has rich culture, history, it has rich cuisine. The kind of festivals that we have is very poetic, and the people all around the world is very much interested in our celebrations and our festivals, whether it's Holi, Diwali, Durga Puja, and the different kind of festivals that we celebrate. Recently, we are seeing that how Holi and Diwali is getting popular. Even the embassies are also celebrating this festival, and during this festival, all the leaders from around the world give us good fishes for this festival. Take Indian film industry for example. Indian film industry is very popular in the foreign countries, and how can we forget about the kind of the values that Indian film industry promotes, that is to promote the Indian culture, the essence of Indian culture, the essence of the importance of family, friends, the value system that we have. So the Bollywood industry is also, or the Indian film industry is also popular among the people all around, the world. Cinemas are instrumental in installing the value system that our society could possess, and it is through cinema that people learn the behavioral aspect. So then it is cinema which can be reframed, or which could be instrumental in spreading the Indian value system before the international audience. Another example that we can say is Indian diaspora. Indian diaspora, which is spread across the world and is able to make their living, and whatever they achieved by doing the hard work, and they got respect and recognition in the foreign land. It is also an achievement as far as India is concerned. So combining these factors, all these examples that I gave is a part of the Indian soft power. Again, we also provide humanitarian assistance. Wherever we saw that there is any trouble in the country, then we went out to provide the help to the people who are in need. However, despite having all the kind of the positives that we have, and yet something is missing in our approach. So in December 2022, Standing Committee on External Affairs point out some few loopholes and which needs to be addressed. And the problems are, for example, number 1 is inadequate funding. Number 2 is lack of coordination among different institutions. Number 3, shortages of skilled labor. Number 4, lack of mandate in ICCR, that is Indian Council for Cultural Relations. Not only that, we also need to look at within ourselves that how are we performing. So take for example, we often call ourselves mother of democracy and we are so proud about it, but the reality seems to be grim, because gradually the press freedom index or the other rankings on which other rankings are also, we are not performing well numerically as far as the ranking system is concerned. Every day we hear the news of atrocities that is done to Dalits, to Muslims, to women. There was a time where it was said that India is one of the dangerous place for single women, and being a woman I can confirm it. And see for example what happened during Holi with the Japanese women, that she was harassed by some boys, and this kind of behavior is really unacceptable. On the diplomatic front, if we speak, we have to see that how China has put her influence all around the world. So India is surrounded by China. Not only that, China is becoming a kind of power which is able to settle down different disputes that is happening around the world, which is not even her region. So for example, the Iran and Saudi Arabia deal that was brokered by China. And thus, if India has the aspirations to be a superpower, then I think that India needs to proactive about such things, that how China is acting, and whether India could do something at this point or not. And we have our asset, that is the Gandhian ideology. Gandhiji has inspired many people all around the world, and many people are the followers of Gandhiji. The thing that we need is to rebrand and to promote the Gandhian ideology even more. But how can we do that if we in our domestic politics tries to malign this ideology over and over again? And historically we have the advantage that we never went to invade other country, and we have the moral ground, and we are so trustworthy that we could maintain our relationships with both the conflicting party. So even at this moment, when Russia and West they are fighting and they have a conflict, we have a very strategic relationships with Russia and with West, and we are being expected to be instrumental so that we could bring both the parties together at the negotiating table. Now, whether India takes this opportunity or not, it's the future will say about this. But as of now, it seems that we are a trusted partner, and both the parties, and we are important for both of them. India could be the active voice of the people of the region which gets ignored. So for example, Latin America, Africa, which does not come, which is not on the news very often, India could take the opportunity and be their voice. At last, I would like to say that perhaps psychologically we are inclined towards hard power, we are inclined towards violence. To some extent, the kind of media that we consume is very instrumental in developing that ideology. But the thing is that the way the soft power works, it creates, first of all, the soft power is very hard to implement and to learn, because it requires the generational back-breaking work that it requires. And another thing is this, that the soft power creates a kind of the positive impression over a person. So hard power is obviously it's very easy to achieve. You crush everybody, and you torture them, and you force them to believe something, but that will not give you the respect. While the soft power that is done through a tons and tons of hard work, this fetches you the kind of respect that history will remember it.